going on, Zeeksters? Happy Monday evening to all of you as I get this prepared. But tonight, I wanted to kind of show off the Warcry miniatures that we have been talking so much about. So I'm doing something brand new here. I'm trying to create a video series about reviews of games that we do here in the store. And tonight, I kind of wanted to just do things for Warcry. So I'm going to really quick drop that music a little bit down a bit. As much as I love all my jams, you may not. But so I'm in no way, shape, or form an expert painter. I'm somebody who has only been painting for a few years, but I've painted hundreds of models. I've learned what works best for me. I've learned the tricks that I enjoy. But I kind of wanted to just be painting tonight. Kind of want to talk to you guys what I thought about Warcry, and then just kind of paint this model while we're talking. So for those of you that don't know, Warcry is a brand new skirmish game that's coming out from Games Workshop on August 3rd. We were fortunate enough that at Zeek's Comics and Games, we were allowed to get the starter set ahead of time. So I've been able to work on my Iron Golems and my Untamed Beasts. So this is the leader of the Untamed Beasts and my leader of Iron Golems. Hopefully you guys can see that without my hand blocking it. But I have been working on these guys for the last few nights. And so today I just kind of want to do some contrast painting, try to get these guys whipped up and knock some stuff out, and talk to you a little bit more about Warcry. So we're going to start things off with the cape. And I think I want to do snakebite leather for the cloak. So we're going to shake this up a little bit, get some water on that brush. I don't think I really need it for this, but you know, we're going to try to do things the right way. So I started painting 3 years ago and love every single thing about it. It's my favorite hobby. And I think that a lot of people don't give it a chance because it's really intimidating, and I totally understand that. But Warcry, speaking of intimidation, so Warcry is going to be perfect. My review for this is that Warcry is going to be a perfect game for folks that want to just get into the fantasy setting of Age of Sigmar, that do not want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars building a 2,000 point list and try to make a super competitive game. They tell you that this is a kill team style game. This game, to me, after watching playthroughs, getting some time with the game myself, even though I was just playing it at my house, and just experiencing the rule set and just kind of where they're going with things, the game to me feels a lot more like Warhammer Underworlds, a lot more like Shadespire. It's got a one activation, two action type scenario like Underworlds has, and then it has it's got the skirmish element, right? Like you're using a small amount of guys and you're moving around the board. But generally it's only got two actions. So like when you attack with somebody, you're just attacking the model and dealing straight damage. There's no save throws. It's just comparing toughness and strength. So the game is going to be perfect for the beer and pretzels folks out there. I think that is a good game to play if you're somebody who's looking to get into miniatures without needing to know how to play a full army. Because I don't think we're going to worry too hard about the min-maxing, because you can't change weapon loadouts. It's a very narrative-driven game, and I think this is a game that's going to get supplemented by a lot of different cards and books that will come out over time. I also think that the models themselves are going to get upgraded by card packs and or other supplements to narrative. So I think that's kind of the route they're going to take things. But we don't know for sure what their planned release date is with any of these things, or if anything, if there are any of their ideas. But overall, I felt like Warcry is going to be a awesome game for those that just want to get in, get out, get a couple games in, play 20 to 30 minutes of their time. You probably could get 2 to 3 games in an hour if you know what you're doing. I did find that the rules were super simple to understand. But I do think this is a game that, could have some depth to it over time. I don't think out of the box it's going to be something that's like going to blow everybody's minds as far as like the content in it, because the actual game relatively is not hard to play or master. I have found that it's something that you know, I was able to pick up the game within 15 to 20 minutes of watching the video. I was able to understand what I was watching, and I was able to start playing the game. The terrain in it is wonderful, even if you're somebody who only picks up this box set for the reason of the terrain alone. It's going to be worth the price of admission. The battle generator, the twist, and the scenario play is fantastic. And I think that if you're somebody who's really digging meeting engagements for Sigmar, I think that's going to be right up your alley, because it's, you know, you have 3 different forces that come on the table at different times based on your scenario, which I think is super cool. So right now we just finished up the cloak while I was talking. I did a little bit of, let's see, I did Sigor Brown. No, excuse me. I did Snakebite Leather, and I did Agaros Dunes for the fur. And now we're on the Skeleton Horde for the bones that and wraps that are around the feet. So I'm a firm believer that you should listen to more Rick Astley. No. I'm a firm believer that anybody who wants to get into this hobby, that Warcry is going to be the fantastic way to do it. I think this is going to be the easiest game to teach somebody. I think this is a good entry-level game. I think this is a game meant for the dads and the moms that want to just play these games with their kids, and they don't want to have to explain a massive rule set. This is really meant for those kind of players. This is really meant for the players that don't have time, for the people that just want to get a quick game in and enjoy Age of Sigmar and just want to, like, participate within the same world. So yeah. So that's so far like my opinion on it. I think Warcry is something that will grow over time. I do know that I think personally, I think the game is going to be a lot better when we get to use the other expansions. You know, when we get to have the Stormcast, which are all ranged Vanguard hunters. Clearly different. Untamed Beasts and Iron Golems are beat face melee units. You got speed guys like these guys, and then you have the Iron Golems who are just going to smash when they get within melee. So I'm really interested to see how things like, you know, the Stormcast do with ranged and having animals. They've already said Legions of the Gash skeletons are resurrected into the field. So I do think that each of these factions are going to have some difference as far as play style. I think that people need to just give them a chance to come out and see their card releases. Hopefully by the end of this week, we'll see some of those things. But so far, this guy's looking good. Contrast Paint. If you guys haven't checked out Contrast Paint, I think it's a great tool for your ongoing collection. But I don't think that this replaces painting properly. I think this is great for getting stuff to the table, which is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get these guys ready and tabletop ready, because I want to show you guys demos this week. So one of the cool things about the demos, too, when you guys come into the store and play Warcry, you guys get a special little deal if you pre-order. So we can talk about that in store. So the contrast is really cool with, like, leather. And it's cool with, like, cloaks, and it's great with hair, and great for skin tones. Like, this guy is made for contrast paint. He's got so many ridges, so many little divots where the paint can soak in and really elevate the color. Golems are a little harder. They're a little bit more closer. They're not very open. Body size-wise, like, you had to really get snug with what you're painting. And obviously, in everything that you're painting, guys, you do have to go back over it, right? Like, you're going to edge highlight. You're going to go and do things that are going to clean it up a bit, add an extra couple highlights here and there. Like, this guy's going to have some bleeding from the color. I'm going to have to go back in and fix it up a bit, but he looks good. Like, I think he looks exactly how I was hoping he would look with these types of colors when I bought him on Friday. But I haven't painted quite a while. So contrast paints are a nice way to get back into the swing of things without having to be stressed out. So I was also somebody who was never into Warhammer Fantasy, so I can't speak to Mordheim. I know a lot of people are going to ask about my opinion on Mordheim and if this is something that will compare to that. I can't tell you that. That wouldn't be a fair assessment. What I can tell you is that this has kill team elements and Shadespire. And I really think that this is just a step up from Shadespire. I don't think it's as difficult as Kill Team is with all the changes and loadouts and character customization. This is a straight up, like, it's got more inherently a board game vibe. And that's not a bad thing. There's definitely, you can definitely tell they're going for a board game style thing. Like, these are your guys, they don't get to be changed. This is their point totals, this is their weapons. But because it's a card-based infographic system, hopefully we'll get a bunch of card releases later. So like if Untamed Beasts are needing balance, they can just put out another card pack. You know, you can just go buy the card pack and they've got, 10 new ways for you to play your entire army or 2 new ways or 3 or whatever. So like I think that's where it's going to be beneficial, that it's not a weapon loadout thing. The downside is, like Kill Team, you can pretty much take a ton of stuff from 40K. Whereas in this is pretty much, they're being picky with what they're going to let. So depending on how you feel about that, might detour you from enjoying this. And I understand. It didn't detour me, though. I think it's cool that they're expanding the realms. We're getting to know what Chaos looks like. We're finally getting to see how Archaon is and just how he's dealing with his Everchosen, and this is a great way to do that. So he's looking pretty good so far. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera. This is my first video doing this with the tripod, so but I think he's looking good so far. So are you excited for Warcry? You guys should definitely tell us in the comments below if you are, or let us know on Facebook. Would love to hear what you think, because I know we're pumped. But I know everybody's got their own tastes. So don't forget that we know that. So next thing we're going to do here, guys, I'm going to pull some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to get his hand, his Wolverine-style weapon that's on his hand. We're going to get that done. We're going to get the bone up here on this axe. And then we're going to come back with Cygor Brown and do the boots, the cloak. And then we'll finish up some of the other pieces probably with just base coats and colors from just regular paint. Right. So currently in Age of Sigmar, I play a couple of different armies. I play Fire Slayers. A lot of you guys who follow the store know I play Fire Slayers. Love me some Fire Slayers. Very happy about Cities of Sigmar. I'm super pumped that they're finally doing something with free people and elves and Dwarden. It's been a long time coming, and I know a lot of people like myself have been hoping that they would bring those factions in from fantasy. So I am somebody who is definitely excited for that. And if you're wondering, my music taste is weird. It is. I have a very unique sense of taste for music. My first actual miniatures game was War Machine. I played that very temporarily. And then I moved on to other things. But I played Infinity. I've tried my hand at Batman miniatures game. This guy's been super fun for contrast right now. This guy's been so easy to paint with contrast. Like, he's built for this. He's got so many little divots, so many things that can pool up in the right areas. And he's going to look super sweet when he's done. So now we're going to do some Cygor Brown. Kind of wet the tip of the brush a little bit. It's getting a little bent. This is an old brush. Yes, I know. I probably should replace it. So this Cygor Brown is super dark. So you want to be careful. You don't want it to like get in the recesses where you have really light colors. You got to be real careful where you draw that color to. And notice with some of the contrast paint, like what you think the color is going to be is not what it is. So you have to make sure that like when you commit to that color, that you commit to this color. Turn that music down a little bit. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Like, I'd like to know, you know, did you enjoy Warcry? You know, did you want more out of it? Did you want more time from it? Did you want more like Kill Team, where it's a lot more weapon loadouts and faction, you know, decisions? I personally still think it's too early to judge this game. I think it's going to need a couple expansions to come out before we can really have a fair argument. That's just my stance on it. I think that we haven't personally seen enough of the game yet as far as what their plan is for us to make that decision. But you may be different, and that's totally cool. You know, Zeke, I'll judge it from afar. I ain't going to bust your chops for it. But I do think that we need to give some time. I think we need to give GW the benefit of the doubt and think that they're going to support this game. Because I think they're going to. They got a lot of marketing behind this. They got a lot of money in this. This is their big hype right now for the year, and I think that this is the game that they're going to put their time and money into. So, and I'm one of those that would rather get started now while we know about the game and get kicking on it than start 3 months from now when it's already super popular and everybody else is like, oh my god, how come you guys aren't running this? So my current plan, there is organized play. We don't know what it is yet, but it's probably going to be campaign heavy. So I would expect that we will probably have the kits to run it. I can't see why we wouldn't. All right. Been pretty good. I bounced from what I said I was going to do. I was going to take that axe, but I got inspired. Yeah, this guy's looking pretty sweet. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, so I'm going to keep painting this guy, but I really am excited for Warcry. I think it's going to be awesome. I think you guys should definitely check it out. We're going to be running demos here, hopefully by next week, all the way leading up to the release. We will have a section in the store dedicated to Warcry, and we'll have a section with all the other units you can take from other Sigmar armies in one easy location for you guys to purchase from. So, all right, guys, I'm going to keep going on this, but I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.